The 5 levels of a Roman soldier. Level 1. The recruit. You are 17 years old. Your village sits somewhere along the frontier of the growing lands controlled by the Roman Republic. The place is quiet. Dust roads, olive trees, a few dozen stone houses scattered across a valley where the soil is thin and the harvest never feels certain. Your father has worked this land his entire life, and the land has never really belonged to him. Rome owns the land. Rome owns the roads. Rome owns the taxes that arrive every year. But on this particular morning, Rome arrives in a different form, a recruiter. He enters the village wearing armor that shines under the sun. Behind him walks a standard bearer, holding the eagle of a Roman legion. You have seen soldiers before, but never this close. The recruiter speaks to the young men gathered in the square. He promises 3 things: pay, citizenship, glory. He speaks of distant lands where the empire is expanding, of gold taken from conquered cities, of farmland awarded to soldiers after years of service. Your father listens quietly. He says nothing, but later that night, he tells you something simple. The farm will never be enough. The next morning, you sign your name on a wax tablet. You swear loyalty to Rome. The oath lasts 25 years. Training begins immediately. You march, not 5 miles, not 10, 20 miles a day, carrying armor that weighs almost as much as you do. Your instructors are veterans. Men who survived wars in lands you cannot pronounce. They watch everything: your shield position, your posture, your breathing. If your shield drops even slightly, a wooden rod strikes your helmet, hard. You will fight with a gladius, the short Roman sword. But you do not train with a real sword yet. Instead, you practice with a wooden blade twice as heavy. Rome believes something important. If training is harder than battle, battle becomes survivable. Days blur together. Marching, digging trenches, building camps, breaking down camps, building them again. Every night the army builds a fortified camp, even if it will stay only one night. Walls, ditches, guard towers. Rome does not trust victory. Rome prepares for the next attack. Slowly your body changes. Your shoulders widen. Your hands grow rough. You learn to move in formation. You learn to trust the man standing next to you, because one day, your life will depend on him. After months of training, you receive your armor: helmet, shield, sword, sandals. Those sandals will eventually carry you across half the known world. Level 2. The legionary. You are 22. You have survived your first campaign. War does not look like the stories told in taverns. There are no dramatic duels, no heroic speeches. War is noise, dust, and exhaustion. Your unit advances across a field under a formation known as the testudo formation. The tortoise. Shields locked together above and in front. Arrows slam into the shields above your head. The sound is constant, like rain hitting a roof. You cannot see the enemy, only the back of the man standing in front of you. Then the horn sounds. The formation opens. You step forward. Your gladius moves in a short stabbing motion, not a swing. Roman soldiers are trained never to swing wildly. A thrust is faster, deadlier, more efficient. Step forward, thrust, step back, shield up. Everything is controlled, mechanical, precise. Rome does not fight like a mob. Rome fights like a machine. The battle ends hours later. The enemy retreats. But the work does not stop. Victory does not mean rest. Immediately, you begin building the camp. Again, trenches, walls, guard rotations. You eat hard bread and dried meat beside a small fire. Around you sit the men who have become your brothers. Some are from Rome, others from distant provinces, different languages, different backgrounds. But the same armor, the same scars, the same exhaustion. Your pay arrives eventually, sometimes months late, sometimes reduced for equipment costs. But you stay, because leaving the Legion means losing everything: the brotherhood, the promise of land, the identity you have built. The Legion becomes your home, and the men beside you become your family. Level 3. The Centurion. You are 30 years old. Your experience has earned you promotion. Your new title is Centurion. You now command 80 men. Your helmet crest runs sideways so soldiers can see you during battle. You carry a vine staff. It looks ceremonial. It is not. You use it to enforce discipline. Your soldiers watch everything you do. If you panic, they panic. If you hesitate, the line collapses. If the line collapses, everyone dies. Centurions fight in the front row. Always. It is one of the most dangerous positions on the battlefield. But Roman soldiers respect strength. They follow leaders who stand where the danger is greatest. Your pay is higher now. Your responsibility's heavier. You know every soldier in your unit, their strengths, their weaknesses. Level 4, the legate. You command an entire Roman legion. 5,000 soldiers. War has changed for you. You rarely fight with a sword now. Instead, you study maps, supply routes, terrain, how long it takes wagons to deliver grain, how far an army can march before exhaustion sets in. You realize something that younger soldiers never see. Battles are not won by bravery. They are won by logistics. An army without food does not fight. It collapses. You plan marches carefully. You study rivers, mountains, weather patterns. Every decision you make affects thousands of lives. Sometimes your army wins. Sometimes it suffers terrible losses. But history will record only the victories. Level 5. The general. The Senate trusts your judgment. Your name now appears in the same conversations as Julius Caesar. You lead armies that reshape the borders of the growing Roman Empire. But power brings a new kind of danger. If soldiers believe you can bring them wealth, land, glory, they will follow you anywhere, even to Rome itself. History has shown this before. But sometimes, late at night, when the camp is quiet, you remember something simple. You remember the boy who stood in a small village, watching a recruiter speak beneath the Roman eagle. You remember the wooden sword, the endless marches, and you realize something strange. Every Roman soldier begins the same way, a young man chasing opportunity. But somewhere along the ladder, the sword becomes something else. Power, responsibility, history. The world remembers the names of generals, but Rome was built by the thousands of soldiers who marched behind them. Men who carried shields across deserts, men who crossed rivers in winter, men who fought battles that no historian ever wrote down, men who never returned home. Their names are gone, but their footsteps built an empire that would shape the world for centuries.